Good morning and welcome to New Hanover County Schools The Morning Show. I'm Ely Feldman.
And I'm Milo Kenny. Thank you for starting your day off with our fun and educational morning show.
We start today's show with an announcement for high school students. New Hanover County Schools Television is recruiting high school students to participate in their after-school programs.
Any high school student can volunteer to sit here where we are and be on air, or if they prefer, work behind the scenes.
Television positions such as news anchor, show host, interviewer, sports announcer, and segment host are available for those interested in being in the spotlight in front of the camera.
There are also many behind-the-scenes positions. Right now, students are directing, running audio and graphics, as well as teleprompter and operating the camera.
In addition to working in the studio, students can join in-field shoots covering art events and sports.
It's a great place to do volunteer hours, meet new people, and have fun, and all the while working in a real TV studio environment.
And it looks great on college applications.
To find out more or get involved, all you need to do is call 254-4180. NHCS TV staff will give you more details and talk about all the wonderful volunteer opportunities.
It's time to check in with the third member of our team, Rocco Salerno. He is standing by right now with our first look at the morning news headlines. Good morning, Rocco.
Good morning, Ellie and Milo, and welcome everyone to your school news here on the morning show. Topping the headlines this week, award-winning actor visits several area schools, Harvard Drama Department gets major recognition, a famous author visits Coddington and inspires students. I will have all these stories and more coming up later in the show.
Thanks, Rocco.
It's time for a staple here in the morning show, This Week in History. Our Grandmaster of Historical Knowledge has all the headlines from past times in This Week in History.
Welcome to This Week in History, covering all the colorful and amazing events that have left their mark on history's timeline. This is the week of December 2nd through December 8th. December 2nd, 1804, in Notre Dame Cathedral in Paris, Napoleon Bonaparte is crowned Emperor Napoleon I. He became the first Frenchman to hold the title of Emperor in 1,000 years. Pope Pius handed Napoleon the crown that the 35-year-old conqueror of Europe placed on his own head. December 3rd, 1947, Marlon Brando's famous cry of "Stella" first booms across a Broadway stage, electrifying the audience during the first ever performance of Tennessee Williams' play A Streetcar Named Desire. December 4th, 1847, Oliver Kelly founds The Grange, which became a powerful political force among Western farmers. The Grange's political activism resulted in legislation that became known as the Granger Laws. December 5th, 1933, the 21st Amendment to the U.S. Constitution is ratified, repealing the 18th Amendment and bringing an end to the era of national prohibition of alcohol in America. December 6, 1884, the Washington Monument is completed. Made of 36,000 blocks of marble and granite stacked 555 feet in the air, the monument was the tallest structure in the world at the time of its completion. Finally, your weekend history tidbits. December 7th, 1941, Pearl Harbor is bombed by the Japanese. The surprise attack struck a critical blow against the U.S. Pacific Fleet and drew the United States irrevocably into World War II. December 8th, 1980, John Lennon, former member of the Beatles, the rock group that transformed popular music in the 1960s, is shot and killed by an obsessed fan in New York City. That's This Week in History, your ultimate source for those key moments in time. Thanks for stopping by.
And join us again next time for another journey through time as we explore the fun, fascinating, entertaining, and educational facts that make up This Week in History.
We have plenty more of the morning show ahead, including a brand new segment of Fun Index.
But first, as we head to break, we have the Word of the Week. Each week, we highlight an advanced English word so when you use them in a sentence, you can impress even educated speakers. Here's our Word of the Week.
Baby, you see, you're so right. go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome back to the morning show. I'm Ely Feldman.
And I'm Milo Kenny.
We now have snapshots, where we take quick looks at some of the positive things going on around our school system.
From fun projects to school-wide events to guest speakers and fabulous field trips, there are so many great things for our school to celebrate.
Carolina Beach Elementary School's Science Olympiad students tested chemical reactions, collecting and analyzing data under the guidance of Mr. Dodd and Mrs. Williams. It's all in preparation for the county-wide competition coming this spring.
Wilmington early college high school students used Zaptec artifacts to learn about Mesoamerican culture. It was a fascinating way to teach students about history and culture.
Pine Valley Elementary School had their first Top Tiger Assembly of the year, with Palmer the dog and the school mascot helping distribute awards earned during the first quarter. Parents and family members were also invited to the assembly.
First graders at Bellamy Elementary School hosted Stocktober, a service project to collect socks for the Good Shepherd Center. The project was a huge success, and the students collected 925 pairs of new socks to be donated.
To celebrate Mr. Rogers' message of being a good neighbor, staff members at Bradley Creek Elementary wore cardigans on World Kindness Day. The school also used the day as a chance to teach students about being kind.
Second graders at Pine Valley Elementary visited Popular Grove Plantation to learn how people lived in the past. A highlight of the trip for students was getting to pet the horses. Sunset Park Elementary students had an awesome time at the Special Olympics with Principal Diego Leaki cheering them on. The students competed in different outdoor events during a beautiful sunny day.
Mr. Miles Murphy, who works as a city planner for the town of Carolina Beach, visited Murray Middle School to assist students with designing and planning for future city competitions. The contest gets students to think about how they can make the world a better place by designing a sustainable city. And that's it for this month's snapshots, our quick looks at some of the positive things going around our school system.
I love the Mr. Rogers Ode for the World Kindness Day.
Students learn so much from school than the curriculum.
So many positive things, it's time for even more good stories as we have our morning news. Let's send it over to Rocco Salerno, who will share all the details. Good morning, Rocco.
Good morning, and welcome to your school news on the morning show. I'm Rocco Salerno. An internationally known celebrity recently stopped by several schools here in New Hanover County. Tony Award-winning artist and actor B.D. Wong and composer Wayne Barker spent the week visiting several high school and middle school music programs in the county. The two men are in town making the 1995 movie Mr. Holland's Opus into a Broadway musical. The story focused on a teacher who selfishly dedicates his time by making students aware of art. Wong talked with students, answering their questions, and also listened to them sing while providing some great feedback.
Wayne and I came from New York. We have workshopped the show and done readings of the show in New York with professional actors. And we have discovered in Wilmington this vitality and energy that we don't have in New York that includes the energy of actual students, actually people in middle school and high school who can play these roles that are actually high school students, and that there's an authenticity and an essential kind of energy to it that you don't have with the professional actors or some of the professional actors that we have worked with. And that's been really eye-opening for us. We have found that an incredible discovery that has helped us to actually write the show, to make the characters more authentic by observing actual students.
Some of Wong's television and film credits include Jurassic World, Gotham, and Disney's Mulan, among others. The musical Mr. Holland's Opus will be at the Wilson Center in downtown Wilmington this coming April. Hoggard's drama department is climbing to new heights. They are advancing into the North Carolina Theater Conference State Play Festival at Greensboro College. 2 plays from each of the regional festivals advanced to the NCTC State High School Play Festival, which is affectionately known as the State Football Championships of Theater. The top 2 shows at the state festival go on to a national festival. The festival showcases the talent of more than 3,000 students from 100+ schools and nearly 130 productions from the NCTC Festival, schools from all across the state come together to share their talents and celebrate their collective achievements. The program was named one of the top high school theater festivals by Stage Director Magazines. Congrats to Hoggard and best of luck. A well-known author recently made a stop in the port city to visit Coddington Elementary and read to the kids. Harold Boston Weatherford and her son Jeffrey have published more than 50 books that have won many major awards and honors. At Coddington, Weatherford worked with 4th grade students and discussed their research process, why she writes about the African American experience, her poetry, and her experiences collaborating with her son Jeffrey. Inspired by oral traditions and the African American experience, the mother-son duo shared diversity books and discussed their backgrounds. Their programs link language, arts, and social studies to motivate student writers.
They see the pages, of course, the cover, but for them to actually know that there are North Carolinians writing these titles that they have come to enjoy and love, they also get to see the process and what goes on for the award-winning author and illustrator. Is very similar to what they're doing in the classroom. And our 4th grade curriculum ties in with the North Carolina experience of all citizens from post-American Revolution, just a little bit past the Civil War, and many of their titles feature that same exact time period. So again, when students heard that she was the author of Freedom on the Menu, based on the Greensboro sit-ins, they knew that book because that is a part of one of the tools that we use in our 4th grade classrooms, or Tar Beach from the 1960s, or the New York Public Library, was inspired and predominantly influenced the work of having an African-American based museum and library for our Smithsonian, and Schomburg was the one. So all of these titles really stand out for our students because they are being used in our curriculum in our classrooms. And then again, they got to learn a few other titles as well. So for the students to, again, put the books to the faces, put the books to the actual pens and crayons or color pencils and watercolor that's actually used, that connection for the students to see that process is extremely powerful for them as future readers and future writers. You can't be a writer if you're not reading, and of course if you're reading, hopefully it can inspire you to write.
The workshop with Mrs. Weatherford also included a question and answer session where students got to ask questions about how she writes and being an author. The visit inspired students to try their hand at writing and creating stories. Big news coming out of CTEC. Principal Dr. Edith Skipper was recently nominated by numerous staff members at the UNCW Watson College of Education for the UNC Wilmington Distinguished Alumni Award. This is based on her outstanding contributions to humankind. The Watson College of Education Alumni Chapter would like to recognize alumni who have made significant contributions to their community and who have represented the Watson College of Education's commitment to excellence. Skipper's staff says they wish her well and also say that she is well deserving of this recognition. For all of the latest on New Hanover County Schools, join us weekdays at 5 p.m. here on Spectrum Cable Channel 5 and Channel 191 in Carolina Beach. For your school news, a complete half hour of all the latest news and information from New Hanover County Schools. Now back to our hosts.
Thanks, Rocco.
All right, it's time now for this week's lunch menu. This is the menu for Monday, December 2nd through Monday, December 9th. On Monday, December 2nd, choose between these 3 fantastic entrees of creamy chicken Alfredo served with a dinner roll, an Italian hoagie, or barbecue pork served with hush puppies. Round out your meal with mouth-watering coleslaw, garden peas, carrot sticks, tomato and cucumber salad, and diced peaches.
Then, on Tuesday, December 3rd, turn your day upside down and have breakfast for lunch with crispy chicken and waffles, or stick to the norm with a Salisbury steak with a biscuit or an incredible slice of buffalo chicken pizza. Keep the good stuff coming as a pile of sides include mashed potatoes, carrots, and sweet diced pears.
On Wednesday, December 4th, let the unique flavor of teriyaki chicken served with brown rice satisfy your hungry stomach, or if you'd prefer, pick a drool-inducing cheeseburger or a classic hot dog. Also, chow down on piping hot tater tots, golden corn, and an Arctic frozen fruit cup.
On Thursday, December 5th, your tummy will yell yummy when you taste the steak fajita with classic Spanish rice, deluxe chicken sandwich, or grand macaroni and cheese. Finish the meal off with a tasty sweet potato with lima beans and mandarin oranges.
Then, on Friday, December 6th, end the week on a high note and chow down on finger-licking good nacho grande with cheese sauce served with a corn muffin, roasted chicken served with brown rice, or an ocean fresh fish fillet sandwich. And on your way to the table, be sure to grab black beans, healthy broccoli, and sure to please mix fruit.
Finally, Monday, December 9th, start the week off majestic by enjoying pasta with meat sauce and a garlic knot, crispy chicken tenders with a dinner roll, or a delectable grilled cheese sandwich. The fun continues as you add enticing sweet potato puffs, green beans, crunchy carrot sticks, tomato and cucumber salad, and healthy diced peaches to your plate.
And there you have it, the lunch menu for the week. In addition to those items, milk, a garden salad, fresh fruit, French bread pizza, and a peanut butter and jelly combo will be served daily.
So many delicious choices. Don't forget you can also start your day off with a healthy and hearty breakfast at school.
Now, when we come back, we have a fun new segment produced by NHCS TV intern.
It's coming up right after this short break.
I'm a bus driver.
I'm a bus driver.
I'm a bus driver.
Wouldn't you like to be a bus driver too?
New Hanover County Schools is now hiring individuals to be a part of our elite core of school bus drivers.
That's right. You can work full-time, part-time, or serve as a substitute bus driver.
New Hanover County Schools offers competitive wages, flexible hours, and state benefits.
Best of all, you get to work with the greatest kids in the world.
We need you!
Contact us today to join the next free commercial driver's license class.
New Hanover County Schools is an equal opportunity employer.
They call me Prince like I'm royalty or something. But the places I've lived ain't no palaces. So I don't need grilled salmon or a new scratching post. Just give me a cardboard box and a can of tuna and we're good. You can even change my name. I'm cool being the kitty formerly known as Prince.
Welcome back to the morning show. I'm Ely Feldman.
And I'm Milo Kenny.
We now have a brand new addition to our morning show. If you have some free time or are looking for a new hobby where you can meet new people and challenge your mind, then pay attention.
NHCS TV intern Dylan Roberts takes us into the world of card games with this new segment titled Fun and Decks. Today, he looks at the highly popular game Pokemon.
Hello, and welcome to Fun and Decks. I'm your host, Dylan Roberts. Today we have the opportunity to learn about a trading card game that is not only popular across North Carolina, but even the world. The Pokemon trading card game has been around since 1996, following the success of the first Pokemon video games released earlier that year. Since their release, the trading cards have become a huge part of the Pokemon community and are played all around the world. The basis of the game is to collect all of your opponent's prize cards, randomly shuffled out of their deck before the game starts, and set aside face down so nobody knows what they are. You get a prize card by defeating an opponent's Pokemon, and you can defeat an opponent's Pokemon by attacking them with your own. Each person has a deck of 60 cards exactly, with no more than 4 cards with the same name in the deck. Each Pokemon has moves that they can use to attack the opponent's Pokemon that cost energy cards. As well, some Pokemon have abilities that they can use for free or if a specific event happens. Each Pokemon has HP or hit points that determine how much damage it can take before it faints and is unable to be used anymore. Most Pokemon can be evolved to become more powerful and learn more moves. Each Pokemon also has a type, which plays into the weakness and resistance, as well as what type of energy cards they are most likely to use. A Pokemon's weakness is what they take more damage from, and a resistance is what they take less damage from. While there are regional tournaments all over, and even a World Championship tournament held every year for the Pokemon trading card game, today we focus once again on a local store that holds tournaments for Pokemon trading cards and sells the cards as well. Cape Fear Games is a one-stop shop for everything a person might need to play the popular board games and trading card games. Pokemon, of course, is no exception. A person can buy pre-built decks or starter packs to start out playing, or booster packs to increase the power of their current decks. Each Sunday at Cape Fear Games, many people come to battle each other with their Pokemon decks, talk about the games, and trade cards.
I enjoy playing at Cape Fear Games simply for the community and for Dylan, the head professor here. He's very good with the kids, and we have a pretty good competitive scene. Two of our juniors are nationally ranked. They're in the top 16 in the world, so it's pretty fun to be in a store with those guys.
Each tournament at Cape Fear Games is played elimination style. You lose and you're out. But there are always people who just want to have fun. The tournament is done for points in a regional scale for players who want to be a bit more competitive about the game, but a majority of the players at Cape Fear Games are just there to have fun. And the tournament is a way to play new people every time you go. The organizer at the tournament at Cape Fear Games, Dylan, is always glad to help new players get started and to make sure it stays fun for everyone, young and old.
Cape Fear Games is just an awesome store. They're always, I feel like, very welcoming. We have a great tournament organizer here, and it's just a fun place to play.
You'll find people of all ages playing, as many parents like to play the game with their kids.
I really enjoy the Pokemon card game because I get to play it with my kids. My kids started playing Pokemon at school, and they asked me if I could teach them how to play. And it's been something that we get to do together. We've traveled all over the world together playing in competitive tournaments, but we also really enjoy coming here to the store and just playing with some of our friends. And there's always something fresh to learn. We're always trying to get better, and that's kind of the theme of Pokemon, is to be the best trainer that you can.
Cape Fear Games is a great place for any card game enthusiast to go. You can find them at 4107 Oleander Drive, online at www.capefeargames.com, or call them at 910-798-6006. I'm Dylan Roberts, reminding you to keep your deck topped up.
Thank you, Mr. Dillon. It's amazing how long Pokemon has been around and so popular for so long.
Yes, a card game, TV series, movie, video games, phone apps. There's a lot of ways to play Pokemon.
It was good to learn a little more about the card game. Thanks again, Dylan.
Our next feature gives a glimpse at what NHCS TV has to offer students in our school system. It's called Interns Return. We invited back former students who volunteered and interned at NHCS TV to talk about their time here and tell us about how it helped them after graduating. If you want to know more about the NHCS TV or a student interested in a media-related field, then listen closely and hear the inside story. This morning, a longtime volunteer of 2 years, Andrew Barnhill, joins us to share his experience.
Hi, my name is Andrew Barnhill. From 2002 to 2006, I worked right here at NHCS TV. It's hard to believe that it's been 12 years since I walked out of the studio for the last time as one of the station's apprentices. I first met Aaron Oliver, who led the station until 2018, back in 2000. And I remember him learning about my interest in communication and in broadcasting, encouraging me to get involved at the first minute that I could. In fact, he might not remember this, but I actually still have his business card with a note on the back that said, "Call me next summer." Well, I did, and I started here not long after that and stayed for 4 years. One of the most formative experiences of those years was my time as host of Noteworthy, a weekly interview segment that was started by Alice Pollard in 2001. I learned how to write well and ask important questions, how to follow stories, and how to seek answers no matter where they led me. I also learned how to be persistent, sometimes to a fault. I met countless people in our schools and around the community and learned so much about New Hanover County along the way.
Welcome to Noteworthy. I'm Andrew Barnhill. Today with me is the Executive Director from the Greater Wilmington Chamber Foundation with a focus on education and connecting the community and those involved in education. That's Pam Barnhart. Thank you for joining me today.
Certainly. Thank you, Andrew.
Well, I wanted to allow our viewers to get a chance to see how the Chamber of Commerce deals with education specifically, because of course it always speaks of their goals, enhancing the educational opportunities for students. But what are we actually doing, and what's the foundation about?
Well, a big purpose of the Chamber, obviously.
Well, my time at NHCS TV ignited my interest in politics and opened so many doors for me through the years in both expected and in unexpected places. For the past 10 years, I've spent probably more of my time on the other side of the desk, answering the questions instead of being the one asking them. But the communication skills that I formed right here took me to a lot of different places, to the staff of an elected official, to a media consulting firm in Washington, to a church pastorate, and to the classroom as a college professor. In 2016, I was my party's nominee for state senate here in the 9th District, and I currently lead federal public policy for a Fortune 500 company. But I have NHCS TV to thank for all of those experiences, to thank for shaping and then later sharpening my skills of observation, of thoroughness, and of boldness in speaking in public. I found that life is often a kind of a winding journey. But my experiences have led me to later experiences, each of which have made my story more interesting and I think more complete. But here at NHCS TV, you also learn how to deal with high-pressure environments. There is nothing like producing a live program that goes into the television sets of countless people across Wilmington, and doing it when you're only 15 or 16 years old. Later in life, when I encountered what were truly high-pressure environments, like in the heat of a campaign, I walked into them a lot calmer because of the experiences that started me off right here. So for those of you who are just beginning to think about your careers and where they might lead you, well, this place has a lot that it can teach you. You'll learn how to be more thoughtful about the words you choose and the way that you speak, how to make following the news a part of your day-to-day life. And you'll also learn how to appreciate the work that goes into putting a newscast together every week. I spent most of the afternoons of my teenage years in that room right across from me, putting together newscasts regularly, learning audio and teleprompter, how to direct, all the things that make up a news program. And I know that I'm a better professional and a better communicator because of those experiences. So if you're a high school student, I hope you'll consider trying your hand at broadcasting and come check out NHCS TV. You'll be a part of a great tradition of former volunteers and interns and apprentices who have gone on to do great things in media, in politics, and in countless other public roles. You never know where it might take you, and I hope to get the chance to see you try it.
Thank you, Andrew. Remember, NHCS TV accepts high school volunteers all year long. Just call the TV studio at 254-4180.
Now we head to break with our new modern music bumper. Enjoy these quick looks and listens of our musicians of our time.
We'll be right back.
I found some better sounds no one's ever heard. I wish I had a better voice that sang some better words. I wish I found some chords in an order that is new. I wish I didn't have to rhyme every time I sang. I was told when I get older all my fears would shrink, but now I'm insecure and I care what people think. My name's Blurry Face and I care what you think.
If you love them enough to crawl into a play place to get them to come down, then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the right seat to make sure they're in the right car seat.
Jeff Foxworthy here. You know, if you've ever found yourself repeating the same thing for 75 years, you might be Smokey Bear.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Well, thing is, there's a lot more to say. Like if you've ever found yourself burning yard debris and then walking away, well, you might be starting a wildfire. So for the love of the outdoors, go to SmokeyBear.com to learn more about wildfire prevention.
Good morning and welcome back to the morning show. I'm Milo Kenny.
And I'm Ely Feldman.
We have some great segments ahead, but first we have our Did You Know?
Did you know that Australia's Great Barrier Reef is the world's largest reef system?
That's right, the Great Barrier Reef is composed of more than 2,900 individual reefs and 900 islands which span across the area about half the size of Texas. In fact, the Great Barrier Reef is so large that it can be seen from outer space.
The reef is home to over 2,500 different species of animals, including whales, dolphins, turtles, birds, and fish. However, quite a few of the animals living there are endangered, which is one of the reasons why it is such an important habitat.
10% of the world's fish population call the reef home, as well as 6 of the 7 world species of marine turtle. While the skeleton of the Great Barrier Reef formed millions of years ago, the living reef structure is actually quite young and has its estimated to been only 6,000 to 8,000 years old. In recent years, the health of the Great Barrier Reef has been falling due to climate change, pollution, and habitat destruction, but scientists have found evidence that the reef is showing signs of significant improvement, but it still has a long way to go before it gets back to the former glory it once had.
Now you know all about the Great Barrier Reef. Isn't it such an interesting place?
It sure is.
Now, we are thrilled to bring you the National Science Foundation's online magazine, Science Nation.
In this feature, they examine the breakthroughs and the possibilities for new discoveries about our planet and our universe, and even ourselves.
Each week, Science Nation takes a dynamic, entertaining look at the research and the researchers that will change our lives.
This week, we learn how scientists are using computer tracking cameras and programs to examine how people buy items. It's the science of shopping.
With so many products and so many stores and websites, how do we decide what to buy and where to shop?
I like that it's right across from where you usually go to class, and it's really convenient.
Whether it's the convenience, good service, or finding the best deal, store owners want to know what attracts you to their stores and what it takes to keep you coming back. Turns out there's a science to all of this.
Look at the amount of things which are trying to grab your attention.
With support from the National Science Foundation, computer scientist Rajiv Sharma and his colleagues have developed software that breaks down shopping behavior much like websites do. His company, Video Mining, uses overhead cameras like these to put together a top-down view of how people shop and what they buy.
Basically what video mining does is use a software along with cameras that are mounted on the ceiling of stores to track shoppers as they move around in the store and create data that helps us understand how shoppers are shopping.
The software creates maps of a store's traffic patterns by digitally analyzing the video. Cameras like these are positioned directly above, and picture resolution is intentionally set low so that all shoppers remain anonymous.
You cannot identify individual shoppers. Computer is actually watching the video and generating numbers that represent the shopper behavior.
The idea is to show retailers and manufacturers the best areas in the store to place products and how to create a comfortable place for people to shop. Sharma identifies trends. For example, people prefer wider aisles when they shop. Women take a lot longer to shop than men, and except in a few cases, brand loyalty is on the wane.
You can see people coming in, going between brands and picking up the product based upon price, based upon other attributes. By providing the data to retailers and manufacturers, they can design the stores to match the shopper's interest.
The software was initially created to monitor the elderly and disabled in their homes. Now it's keeping an eye on shoppers, giving businesses a scientific leg up in the rat race of figuring out how best to serve their customers and keep them coming back. For Science Nation, I'm Miles O'Brien.
Every time I see that segment, I am always amazed at the different ways we apply science.
Though I'm not sure using science to help companies market items is the most noble cause, but it is interesting how they do it.
We continue our show with gardening and nature. Our friends from the Cape Fear Garden Club provide us with wonderful information and tips that you can use in your own garden yards and homes. In today's edition of Gardening and Nature, our host Barbara Downing travels to Wrightsboro Elementary School to discuss composting and how students at the school are doing.
Good morning and welcome to Gardening in Nature
We're out here at Wrightsboro Elementary School, and we're talking about their gardening projects. We're here at the compost bin with Marie Davis from Centripetal Farms, and would you like to try to kind of explain what the children are allowed to do?
Absolutely. So here we have our two-bin compost system, and we have the children adding organic waste. So for instance, there's a fresh fruit and vegetable program where students receive snacks, and so whatever waste is left over from that, they're able to put this into our compost bin here. So that's the nitrogen component, and then we add some carbon, and over time it breaks down and we have a wonderful additive for our garden.
Great. And I see you have directions here to remind the children that it has to be covered with dirt, and whatever they put in needs to be covered with dirt. Right.
So that we don't attract any environment, and also to make sure that the composting process is in action. So they're adding their own carbon as they cover it here. So you can see even there's some squash, where squash was a snack, so it's even growing its own thing.
That's very true. Several times there. So that's how the process starts. Now, where exactly do you use this composting material?
So the wonderful thing is that it can be used right here on site. So there are several raised beds, and there's an in-ground row, as well as a sensory garden that the compost can be added as an amendment to help grow the plants there.
All right, great. And these are things then that the children take care of and help tend?
Yeah, along with the help of their teachers and Jordan Appel from Food Corps.
Food Corps, okay. And I even noticed you had some blueberry bushes over there.
Yeah, we did a really big garden build with several other community partners last year, and we were able to put those in, and they're looking great.
Oh, good, good. The children that come out here, then they not only start with the beginning process, they also are involved in the planting process also?
Absolutely, yeah, they get to see the whole full circle.
All right, so they eat the food from the Food Corps, they save it for the composting, and then they put the compost into and grow some more food.
Yes, that's the whole full circle.
Yes, great. If we're going to compost at home, what do you suggest?
Well, there are a couple of different options. You can create a bin system like this, which is nice because once you've built a pile, you can turn it over, because the main two things that you need in your compost pile, apart from the carbon and nitrogen inputs, are water and oxygen. So that turning process allows you to get that oxygen in there and make sure that the pile is properly breaking down. They also have compost tumblers that you can purchase from stores locally. But if you're going to do a system like this, you'll just need to be monitoring how much of your food scraps that you're putting in, so those are your nitrogen inputs, and then how much carbon you're putting in. So you can use things like dried leaves, or you can even use shredded newspaper, and it's a 3-to-1 ratio. It's kind of like making a cake, but building a compost pile.
Well, and does pine straw count with this, since we have so much of that around here?
Yeah, right. Well, pine straw is a little bit more acidic, so you wouldn't want to be adding too much of that, but you can add some of that to your pile.
Okay, great. That's good advice. So, thank you. This is our area also where they have a greenhouse. They also have an entrance to this sensory garden that has been tended, and they're going to be working in there soon too. So back to you.
Thank you, Barbara. Composting can not only provide you with rich gardening nutrients, but it also helps reduce the amount of waste going in our landfills.
Yes, it's a win-win. I'm glad that they were able to share information on how to get started.
As we head to break, we want all of our viewers to know a little bit about our morning show bumpers.
NHCS TV has high school students who intern here for credit, and some even get paid as after-school jobs. As they begin to learn the basics of producing and designing a segment, they are tasked with creating a series of bumpers for the morning show.
Each series is completely designed by an intern. They choose the topic, the content, the font, the styles, graphics, music, and all.
It's one of their first steps in creating their own content and building a reel.
We head to break with our Endangered Animals bumper designed by Ashley High School senior Joanna Carey.
There's a lot of fear in coming back to school. I'm a 40-year-old man that walked in there to get his high school diploma. It was very hard for me, but one of the teachers was Miss Araceli. She gave me direction. Every single time I had a question, she'll put down whatever she's doing and she'll sit there with you until you get it. 50% of getting your high school diploma is walking through those doors. The other 50% is doing the work.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
Hey, Dad. I need your help asking Jessica to prom.
Of course. Love is like the ocean. You have to tread the
Oh,
waters.
Dad. That's not the kind of help I needed. Hey, Jessica. Will you go to prom with me?
Yes.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care can't wait to share their first with you.
Welcome to Game Time. I'm your host, Rocco Solano. Here at Game Time, we pit two contestants head-to-head in a themed and educational contest. Fear not, though, because you at home get to test your knowledge alongside our contestants. Let's meet our contestants and learn a little bit about our theme.
Now, this time of year, the pumpkin reigns among food, from the jack-o'-lanterns at Halloween to the famed Thanksgiving Day pumpkin pie.
Pumpkins are believed to have originated in North America. Seeds from related plants have been found in Mexico dating back to 7,000 to 5,500 BC.
References to pumpkins date back many centuries. The name pumpkin originated from the Greek word for large melon, which is penon. Penon was changed by the French to pomnon. The English changed pomnon to pummian. American colonists changed pummian to pumpkin.
Native American Indians used pumpkin as a staple in their diets centuries before the Pilgrims landed. They also dried strips of pumpkin and wove them into mats. Indians would also roast long strips of pumpkin on the open fire and eat them. When settlers arrived, they saw the pumpkins grown by the Indians, and pumpkin soon became a staple in their diets as well.
As today, early settlers used them in a wide variety of recipes, from desserts to stews and soups. The origin of pumpkin pie is thought to have occurred when the colonists sliced off the pumpkin top, removed the seeds, and then filled it with milk, spices, and honey. The pumpkin was then baked in the hot ashes of drying fire.
The leading country of pumpkin production is Floyd County, Texas. They grow about 1 million pumpkins a year and celebrate with Pumpkin Day on the second Saturday of October. However, the citizens of Morton, Illinois call their town the pumpkin capital of the world because Libby has its pumpkin industry and plant there.
The pumpkin has become universal and are grown all over the world on 6 of the 7 continents, with Antarctica being the sole exception. They were even grown in Alaska.
And there you have our pumpkin overview.
I hear today's game is a classic, a real morning show throwback.
I can't wait. Let's send it back over to Rocco to find out all the details.
For many, many years, various versions of tic-tac-toe have been played here on the morning show. And pumpkin tic-tac-toe is a yearly favorite, and that is our game today. Here are the rules. I will ask a pumpkin-related question. If you get it right, you can mark it on the board in an open spot of your choosing. The questions will rotate back and forth. If I run out of questions or a tie, the person with the most marks on the board wins. Ellie, you will mark the board with uncarved pumpkins, and Milo, you will mark the board with jack-o'-lanterns. I flipped a coin before the show, and Ellie, you got to go first. Okay, contestants, are you ready?
Yes.
Yeah.
Here we go. Number 1. Pumpkins have been grown in North America for closest to blank number of years. A, 500, B, 5,000, or C, 50,000?
B.
That is correct.
I went the middle.
In the middle. Okay. All right. Question 2. Pumpkins were probably served at what famous meal? A, the Last Supper, B, the first Thanksgiving, or C, halftime at Super Bowl 30?
The first Thanksgiving.
That is correct.
Wicked.
Good job.
Thank you. I'll get bottom right.
There we go. Question 3. Pumpkins are a good source of nutrition. They are A, low in calories, fat, and sodium, B, high in fiber with vitamins A and B and potassium, or C, all of the above.
I'm going to C.
That is correct. They have all of the following nutrients.
All right, let's see. I want the space above Milo's. Okay.
Okay. Number 4. The largest known pumpkin in the world weighed A, 513 pounds, B, 1,061 pounds, or C, 3,211 pounds.
There's no way it could go above the lowest number, A, 500.
That is false. The heaviest pumpkin ever weighed 1,061 pounds.
Uh-oh.
Wow, that's a big pumpkin.
You gotta get this next one wrong.
You choose your... Oh, wait.
No,
sorry. Okay, number 5. Pumpkins are members of the family Cucurbitacea, which also includes A, cucumbers, B, cauliflower, or C, broccoli.
I'm gonna just go with A.
That is correct.
Oh, kind of look alike.
Cucumbers.
A little bit.
Yeah,
Let's see. Well, I want the one that would make me the 3 in the row. Yay!
This is rigged.
Just got it. Okay. All right, and our winner is Ellie. Congratulations, you are this year's tic-tac-toe champion.
Good game, Milo.
Good game, Ely.
Well, that does it for this edition of The Morning Show.
For the best TV of all, each and every day, keep it tuned right here for New Hanover County Schools TV on the Learning Network of Cape Fear.
Have a great day.
And a wonderful week.